T-minus 30 seconds, 35 seconds actually. We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna rock and roll. The gravy train.
Good job.
Good job. All right, all right. What's up, guys? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. Y'all doing good? Welcome to the Falcon. We're here again. Thank you, sir. You like my Nintendo shirt? A little Mulehorn Gaming on there. So, yes, Daisy. Yes. So here we are again. Another Star Wars Sunday. You can push all the buttons down there, man. You can push all of them. That's what they're there for. All of them. So tonight we got a lot of fun things to talk about. We're gonna watch the Clone Wars trailer again because there's something in there that we didn't actually get to chat about last time, which was a little scene we showed, or at least they showed. I should say Disney. They showed a clone trooper to the left of Anakin, and we're gonna kind of hone in on him and talk a little bit more in depth about the clone troopers in Clone Wars. So up, down, left, right. Yeah, and you know what? Start and select at the same time. I don't know if you can read it, but it says meal bag. So don't hit them at the same time. So yeah. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Let's watch this trailer one more time. And the only thing I want you guys to really watch here on this trailer is toward the end here, we see a new clone trooper that we haven't seen before. We're going to talk about those particular clone troopers and give you a little backstory on that.
But you'll call me
We're also going to go through a few of the other clones that we see through episode 2 and 3 in the Star Wars theatric releases. We're also going to talk about some stuff from the animated series, of course, again, because
I'm Commander Cody.
there's a lot of good stuff in there, boss. A lot of good stuff.
Sir, yes, sir.
So as we watch here,
Looks like we got ourselves a batch of
see all those
sharks,
different
Commander.
helmets? Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Look around.
We're going to talk about
One
all
of the same.
these different
Same heart,
helmets here.
same blood. Your training is in your
What
blood.
those helmets are.
And
Snake,
my blood's
thanks for the
boiling
host, bro.
a Fight.
Appreciate it, brother.
Our home. Any idea this is our war.
This can't be good. We need to pull back. Get on the portals. If we can draw them out, we can see them. If we can see them, we can hit them.
A snake. Appreciate the raid, brother. Thanks, man. Thanks for raiding us. We're fixing to talk some clone troopers here. Maybe a solo raid. It's all good, man. You being here is awesome. Danny's Prime with the host. Appreciate it, brother. I got you, T-Prime. Alright, see right here? See that clone trooper on his left? Whoa, see how he looks way different than Rex to his right? He's got a little bit different facial features, got a little bit Different armor. Well, we're going to talk about that and what that is.
All right, Rex. What's so important that you brought us all the way back here?
Ooh, Ahsoka. We talked about her last week. Oh, dang.
Hello, Master.
With the
been a while.
Mandalorian. Alright, so let's, excuse me, let's go ahead and talk about this new clone trooper. And Snake, again, thanks for the raid, brother. So we're going to talk about this new clone trooper who was known as Clone Trooper Hunter. And I'm just going to, I got a ton of information here, so I got to read a little bit of it. So, but he was the leader of a clone called Clone Force 99. It's an elite clone squadron. And each of these clones had like favorable genetic mutations that gave them special abilities that were a little bit better than their clone brothers that didn't have these mutations. It gives them all these different advanced abilities, whether it's your reaction time's faster, you can see farther, whatever it would be. So they had all these different types of mutations, which we'll kind of get into that a little bit. But we're going to focus on Hunter for a second here. And he was a little gruff, as it says, I'm reading here. He's not unfriendly. Rex did like him. Anakin did like him. But he was a little... he's just not typical. It's very aggressive. He had 2 hand blasters that he carried with him. And he preferred to basically engage his enemy with swords or a vibroblade. He preferred the vibroblade, which is kind of cool. It's kind of throwing it back a little bit for Star Wars if you can think about kind of some of the older games where they had vibroblades in them and things like that before they had lightsabers, or even, vibroblades. You can actually fight a lightsaber with a vibroblade, so that was kind of cool because they have like a lining on the edge of Durasteel that can reflect and deflect the lightsaber. So before we get in too much on the Clone Trooper and Clone Force 99, I'm going to go through a few of the clones here. So you're going to see quite a few clones. Well, actually that way. Sorry. I can't ever point the right way. Quite a few right up here. We're going to go through each one of these clones. Now, I've just picked out most of the ones that are most well known. There's a ton of different like actual divisions and breakdowns. Like you have ARC troopers and things like that, from like, oh, you're an ARC trooper or you're just a phase 1 clone trooper. Well, I don't have enough time to get into all of that. That's like a lot, man. Like a lot. So we're going to do most of the ones most people know. Some of them, you may not know. But the first one right here, as you can see kind of at the top in blue, and that is the most well-known clone trooper unit, which is the 501st. And if you've ever watched anything Star Wars, you know who the 501st are. They also became a unit of stormtroopers in the older episode like 4, 5, and 6 that stayed around, that became Darth Vader's personal stormtrooper unit. And the reason for that is because the 501st were the ones that were assigned and commanded by Anakin during the Clone Wars. One of the most notable of these guys is Commander Rex. I know a lot of you guys know who Rex is. You see him, we saw him in the trailer. He's a very well-known, very beloved clone trooper. He's one of the guys in Rebels that had the chip inhibitor chip taken out of his head. So that he's kind of the leader of the other 2 clones that were there with him in Rebels. So that's the 501st. The next one directly, if you're looking at him to his right, which is the orange trooper there, that's the 212th Attack Battalion. So that battalion was actually served under Obi-Wan Kenobi. The most notable of them was Commander Cody. And he was the guy that actually gave the order to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi when Order 66 came about. He was like, fire. He shot at Obi-Wan, didn't kill him. We can get a little bit more into Cody in a second, but in the 212th, what they were known for the most was their paratroopers. They had paratrooper division that was very well known, pretty stinking awesome paratrooper unit. But Cody, he was like the most well known of them because everyone remembers Cody from the Clone War movies and the animated series. He's also the one who tried to kill Obi-Wan. He finds out Obi-Wan's still alive because when he finds Grievous dead, he finds his plane or his ship gone. So he knows Obi-Wan probably is still alive and took the ship. He was still pretty loyal to the Empire pretty much throughout his whole life. We don't know how he ends. We don't really know that yet, other than he did serve in the Imperial army. So we do know that. And you guys, this is open for you guys to discuss as well. So if you guys have anything to say, just chime in right in chat, and we can talk about it as well. The next is what is right below them. It's kind of the green colored troopers that you see there. And that's the 41st Elite Corps. And those guys have the green markings. They're most well known because they were assigned to Yoda when the clones were attacking Kashyyyk. So most of you guys know them. You can kind of see their variances and the different types of armor that they have there. But most of them had like the actual green colored markings. After that, you have the 104th Battalion, which, guys, is right here to my, that way. Sorry. Right here. It's right here on my left shoulder. And that is the most well-known out of that group is Commander Wolf. He's one of the guys that was with Rex and Rebels. He's the guy that had the cut over his eye that one of them was not squared out. What happens in the various clones between 3 and 4? Most of that stuff you're going to find is going to be Legends. The stuff that has been in Legends that was in previous comic books, or you can find it just on the Star Wars Wiki is amazing resource, especially if you can't buy all the comics, because I know sometimes I can't buy all the comics. And our friend that follows us on Twitter, Stupendous Wave, has a lot of really good stuff as well. But exactly, Nate, I'm hoping they explore that as well. Matt Gunn, thanks for that host, man. Appreciate that. But Commander Wolf, which he called his group the Wolf Pack. They were well known. He was with Rex, as you see him in Rebels. He was assigned to Plo. As you guys know, his unit did take out Plo. We saw it in Revenge of the Sith. He's the most well known for the 104th. The next is the one right next to him, which is the Marine kind of squatting in the purplish armor. One day this will all make sense to me. It's okay, Daisy. You just need to watch more Star Wars. You'll see. You know what? If you have Netflix, go to Netflix and watch the Clone Wars animated series. This will make a lot more sense when you watch it. The next one is actually the Galactic Marines, which you see next to, Wolf, which is right over here. It's the second one off my shoulder. And those were the Galactic Marines. They were most well known just because they had a very different kind of typical armor for a clone trooper. The next is the 327th Star Corps, and those were the sand-colored markings. Sure, the chronological order. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, make sure you do, like Nate said, look up the order of them and watch those episodes because they are out of order in Netflix. And then the last one that we see, which is the red one on the it's my far right. So if you're looking at the screen, far right as well. But the red one, which is the Coruscant Guard, and they were extremely, extremely loyal to Palpatine. If you guys remember, and this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler for you, Daisy, because I know you haven't seen the animated series. But when Fives figures out about the inhibitor chips, and he's people think he's going crazy. These are the units that were sent in after Fives, and Rex and Anakin are trying to hey, man, it's okay. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to know what's going on. Well, this unit here is the one that tracked him down, and the commander in that unit actually shot him right through the chest, through his armor, which is interesting because he did have a particular type of blaster that he used, had a stun setting, so he could have stunned them. But that just shows you how loyal they are to Palpatine. So that's a little interesting tidbit there. Some other stuff is, the ARC troopers, which, the ARC troopers had the little, they're like an advanced recon commando. You see Fives and Echo are both ARC troopers. But we can get into, there's just so many clones that we could get into. But the other one that we should probably talk about a little bit is the Inquisitor trooper, which were the last line of the Jango Fett clones. They took that line and basically they became the personal guard of Darth Vader. And that's when we talked about last week in the comics when Vader and them attacked a city and they attacked the other Inquisitors eventually because the Order 66 was still in their head. But this is the guy we want to chat about now, which is Clone Trooper 99. If you guys remember in the Netflix animated series, he had a big role in one of the episodes. And you can see he's kind of deformed, right? And he's actually part of this force right here, Clone Force 99. You can see right there, they all kind of have those different deformities. You can see Clone Trooper Hunter in there as well. but they all have these different type of genetic mutations when they were trying to clone them that were favorable, and so they kept them. Some of them not so favorable, as you kind of saw with who was nicknamed 99 right here. In the Clone Wars, he actually goes into being very heroic and helping out the clones in the Battle of Kamino. But you really should watch that episode. It's really cool because he kind of gives Fives and Echo some heart when they think that they're going to be another bad batch, as they called it. So let's go ahead and get into this Clone Force 99. Now, who are these guys? We talked about it a little bit. They're basically genetic mutations, and they were originally called the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch. But they're interesting in the fact that they were one of few commando forces that didn't really report to anybody. They just kind of could do what they saw was right. So, the 501st, they went to Anakin, This was not the case with this clone unit. They could basically do whatever they wanted. So you had, I think, like 4 or 5 that they were, at least that we know of so far. On occasions, they have worked with Rex and Commander Cody. So we don't really know much more other than they've worked with the other clones on occasion. The Jedi knew of them. I mean, the Jedi had some of their own commando forces. And they're a little bit different than if you remember the Republic Commando game. Those were commandos that were called Delta Squad. They were actually reporting directly to the Jedi High Council. So everything that they did, they were tasked by the Jedi High Council. They had Boss, Fixer, Scorch, and Sev, I think was their names, from Republic Commando. These guys, they didn't report to anybody. So let me just kind of read this little tidbit about the unit, and then we can kind of discuss it a little bit more just amongst ourselves here. And so Clone Force 99 originated as a batch of clones that were born with desirable genetic mutations that made them superior soldiers. These mutations also had unique effect of altering their appearance and voice greatly from regular clones. Each one of these members acquired certain abilities unique to the team due to their genetic mutation, unorthodox fighting tactics, and gun-ho behavior. They were nicknamed the Bad Batch with the Clone Army. While part of the Army, they earned quite the reputation. The squad worked together with Commander Cody on a few occasions, but did not report to anybody, is what we were kind of talking about earlier. So this is interesting, guys. I mean, you have very gun-ho personality in Clone Trooper Hunter. You have all these different types of troopers that we went over, the 501st, the 212th, the 41st, the 104. They all had commanding officers that they reported to. But this group, they kind of they had free reign to do whatever they wanted. So I'm wondering how this is going to work with Order 66. If they had those in their head, or if the mutation kept them from that, if they'll somehow end up fighting with the rebels. It's going to be interesting. But you guys chime in chat with any of your thoughts on this and what you think about the series, about the clone troopers. Is this too much? Is there too much clone troopers? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think there's too much clone
Good
troopers.
job.
But that is about what I had to talk about tonight. So let's get this little round circle going here. What do you guys think? What do you think of Disney introducing the Bad Batch? Round circle. Yeah, we're all gonna sit here and talk. We're gonna chat, Nate Johns. So what do you think of Disney introducing a Bad Batch, Clone Force 99, mutated clones? I mean, we do know that Yoda, when he was talking to the clones, he said, hey, you may look the same, but you're not the same because the Force is with everybody. Is this a spinoff? No, man. This is considered lore now because it's in the animated series. Clone Force 99 is in the animated series, at least in part. When we mentioned, as we saw earlier, we mentioned 99, that clone trooper there, if you recall from Clone Wars. But yeah, it's interesting because I'm wondering how that's going to work, especially with Ahsoka Like, how's that all going to work? You think it'd be cool if they do it right? I agree, man. Like, I would like to see like an elite task force, kind of like Delta that we see in Republic Commando, and just going off and doing some stuff that we've never got to see before from Clone Wars and other things like that. So it'd be kind of cool to see and cool to watch. Oh, this is crazy. My Topo Chico, look at that. It's green, so it's green screened out. Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. So that's about it, what I had with tonight, talking about the clones and whatnot. So thank you guys for being here for that part of the show. So we're going to kind of wrap that up since you guys don't have too much you want to really discuss. And we'll move into a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront. Bit of cast and right bit with bad. I completely agree, Mac. I agree, man. I want to see somebody that's a little more BA than like Rex. Rex is a pretty awesome dude, right? Like he gets it done. He gets the job done, and it's going to be interesting there to see what they're going to do with that. What exactly they're going to do. So, all right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get this party started. Let's get ready for a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront. How about that? You don't want some Star Wars Battlefront, or would you want to play something else? I got lots of Star Wars games. Oh yeah. It does. Like, it's interesting because, you know, you saw Nines there, the Clone Trooper Nines, that he was like the outcast that actually in the animated series helped the guys get back into like form, and was like, no, man, like you guys, you don't understand. You're like, you're not a bad batch. You're still awesome. Like you can succeed where all these other people have not. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. So let me get this set up here. And let me get Star Wars set up, and we'll just get this rocking and rolling.